So our next thing that we're going to look at is how to do stack dots. Stack dots are simply placing a dot on top of a dot once you've melted it in. I'm going to do my stack dots in black and in white. So here's my white and my black. And I've made my base bead. Switching over into my dominant hand. Okay, so I'm going to start off by placing my white dots. So I go into the flame, place it down, come up into the flame and cut. Into the flame, into the flame and cut. Now with stacked dots, you want to make sure that your dots are melted in. I'm just going to adjust the camera a little bit. There we go. There we go. So with stacked dots, you want to make sure that your dots are melted in. Again, as I said before, don't be too close to the flame, to the bottom of the flame, or your bead will get nice and juicy and then you'll lose all the shape of your bead. Okay. So those seem to be melted in fine. There it is as it sets back up again. Now I'm going to add my black dots. So what I want to do is I want to put a black dot into the center of each of these white dots. So I'm going to turn down my heat. I'm going to build up a little gather, touch it down into the center, come up and release. Touch it down into the center, come up and release. And one more. There we go. So now I have a black dot sitting in the center of each of my white dots. Okay. And now I am going to melt them in. If you find that they're not centered to where you want them to be, you can always shove them over a little bit. You can I use my little dollar store knife. You still have a bit of play with them before they're melted in. So when they're just ever so soft, just give them a little push and push them over to where you want them to be. And then we're going to melt them in. I have my clip-on ditties over the lens of my phone so that I can do the filming. So I'm wearing my fit-overs and they keep sliding down my face. I'm so used to the clip-ons. So I have to keep adjusting them so that they don't fall off. Okay, so there you have it. That is all melted in now. And each dot is relatively in the center of the first dot. Now if you want, you can add another series of dots. The dot underneath will spread ever so slightly as you add dots on top. So I'm going to add another white dot in the middle of each of these black dots. So I'm going to... It gets a little trickier as you go along. And bear in mind that as you add dots, your bead is going to become a little bit warped, and it's not going to be round. So there's the white dots in the middle of the black dots. So keep in mind that as you add glass to your bead, it's going to lose its roundness. This bead will almost look like a round-ended triangle if I don't round it up equally. So if I round this up and I have my dots melted in like they are now, you see, so all those dots are melted in. They're relatively flat. But if I turn this way, you'll see that the bead isn't round. It's more of a square. That's easy to fix because the tendency of glass is to want to be round. Just gently heat it. Gently heat it. Don't put it down into the deep flame. And it will eventually round back out again. Still a little square. I'm taking a look at it from the ends. Still a little square. But I promise you, be patient with it. It's a slow process. But be patient because it will eventually round right back up again. When glass is heated, its natural inclination is to want to be round. So with gentle heating, it will eventually become round again. There we go. So that sort of funky shape is gone, unless of course you want it. And now we're back round, and there are the stacked dots, white and black. So that's a basic stacked dot bead. I'm going to put this in the kiln